Tonight, these terrifying images sending shockwaves across the Gulf Coast. Razor blades in loaves of bread. This unusual crime spree started earlier this month on December 5th when a customer found a razor blade in a banana nut muffin.
Store associates, combed through their merchandise. They couldn't find any other compromised items. Thought, hey, this is just an isolated event.
2 days later, on the 7th, a customer at the neighborhood Walmart on Pass Road found a razor in a loaf of bread. But police were not called until the 15th, after yet another customer at the Supercenter found razor blades in a loaf of brioche bread.
They also, at that time, found a muffin that had a fish hook in it. Somebody had poked those items through the plastic packaging.
Miraculously, there have been no reports of injuries.
Investigators say surveillance video led them to this woman, 33-year-old Camille Benson, who's now charged with attempted mayhem. Her motive unclear. NBC News has not been able to reach Benson for comment.
One resident in Biloxi who didn't want to go on camera is wondering what everyone else is. Why would someone do this?
Why would somebody do this?
I'm not sure.
I find that to be a fascinating question. All we can do is speculate, so let's do that. First, this woman has several tattoos on her face, a pretty clear visual cue that something's not totally clicking. Besides that, your instinctual alarm bells should be ringing at every image you see of this person. At first thought, you'd think, oh, she's on drugs. But she did this at 2 different locations, obviously at different times. Being on drugs does not preclude you from knowing right from wrong. She knows this is wrong, and that's why she was sneaky when she did this. So what could possibly be the motivation here? First, let's look at another big case of food tampering when this idiot pulled a prank on this food. It's pretty clear to me that this is a stupid person who completely detached himself from the reality of what he was doing in search of defying society's rules for clicks. He simply wasn't smart enough to understand the gravity of his actions. All of this makes sense, and it isn't hard to understand. But this? The only reason you put razor blades into bread is to harm strangers. And what payoff is there for this? There's only the hope you've harmed someone and the further complete degradation of society and trust. Why would this person want that? If we look solely at a psychological perspective, this is a person drowning in misery that wants to spread it to others. Misery loves company, as they say. But this is particularly nefarious. Evil. Would anyone question that? In a world that increasingly denies the existence of evil, perhaps we should remember that it's real and all around us. And we should question what or who is driving people to do things like this.